Hello everyone, this is the Project Controls Mentor and welcome to the first video in this series called Construction Project Planning, Scheduling and Controls. Now, is this a Primavera P6 course? Well, it definitely has Primavera P6, but it has a lot of other aspects um, that a planning engineer has to go through in order to manage construction projects. It's not like a training course just based on P6, right? So who would benefit from this course? Well, first of all, anyone who is interested in managing construction projects can benefit from this course. And in particular, it targets junior planners, schedulers, and site and civil engineers, especially the ones who are transitioning into a project controls role. Now you ask, how are we going to achieve this? Well, first thing is, this is going to be all practical from scratch. We are going to create, we are going to develop, we are going to monitor, we are going to control an imaginary construction project. Now, this is not going to be a simple project. It's not a residential building with typical floors, all the way up, because that's pretty straightforward. And it's not going to be a road project as well. That's linear planning. And I don't think you really need much training on that. I mean, you definitely need to know how to use P6 and know the basics, but the data over there is quite manageable. Now, for the purpose of this training, the purpose of this course is to, manage huge data. And we need to be able to manage this data effectively and smartly. We don't need to do a lot of redundant work and a lot of stuff from scratch. We're obviously going to start from scratch. But once we get the rhythm flowing, we're going to automate stuff. We're going to try to. And let's see how much we can achieve. Right? So our project is going to be a imaginary housing society. It's going to have its own boundary. And it's going to have different type of apartments. It's going to have villas. Now, villas are basically residential homes, especially in the Middle East. We have a lot of villas. And then we're going to have other type of buildings like utility buildings, like a sewage plant, not a plant, like a building. We're going to have some mechanical rooms and mechanical buildings and all that stuff. We're gonna have infrastructure. Obviously, we're gonna have roads in this society, right? We're gonna have site works, which includes landscaping, hardscaping. We're going to have some swimming pools and so on. Where did I get this course from? Did I build it from scratch? I didn't build it from scratch. This was one of the courses or trainings I did a couple of years ago. It's been a while, and it kind of revolves around that, but obviously it's going to have my touch in it. I'm going to kind of modify it and, take the good things from it and add my own stuff to it and try to make it more understandable and more practical for you guys. All right. So let's say you are a fresh junior planning engineer who's just got your first job and you got a huge project. What's the first thing you're going to do? What's the first step? Would you start just open up your Primavera and start typing in, okay, you won't do that, right? Are you going to read the BOQ, the bill of quantity? Well, I don't think so. What about the contract? Okay, that's pretty good. You can get a lot of details from the contract. But then again, the contract is going to be maybe 1,000 pages or 2,000 pages. Are you going to read through all of that? Obviously not. You're going to look for the scope of work. There could be a specific section in that contract which states that, but then again, you are looking for the project layout. That's the most important thing. when you get your project documents. Now, being a planning engineer doesn't mean you know, uh, make things appear from thin air, right? You need to have details. You need to have documents uh, through which you create your planning process. Now, the project layout, it could be a drawing, a high level drawing that's included with the contract and the specifications. It could be a separate document which you need to, ask from your client or customer. Um, and that basically provides you the quick understanding on the high level SOW or statement of work. Now, let's see what we have. We do have a imaginary project layout. Now, this is a template or a document I got from the training. So we're going to see how it works. So the first thing, you have a project layout and you need to develop a high level SOW. You could get the SOW from the contract documents or project documents that you receive from the customer or client. That could be really, really detailed. Now, let's say this is your first day of the work and you have just 1 hour. What are you going to do? Are you going to scan through all of those documents? No, right? The first thing is you're going to find that project layout. Once you have that project layout, that's your input. Okay. Now, when we say input, you're going to do some processing behind it. You're going to read the legend that comes with the project layout. You're going to understand that layout. And then you're going to divide and classify that layout into different packages or work packages. You're going to think about the execution, like, okay, what are you going to build first? How is it going to sequence throughout? Because it's not just one building. It's a series of buildings and different type of buildings and different type of work, right? You think about it. You don't have to be like really, really detailed about it. Just think about it on a high level. Once you have that done, then you think about the output. You need to create an output. So basically, you're going to create a document with the high level SOW or work package. So there's an input, you have the project layout, and you need an output, which is the high level SOW. And you're going to develop that yourself by looking at the project layout. Now, let me take you to the project layout that I have. And let's just scroll and scan through it and understand what it tries to depict. All right, so here we have the Future City project. So this is the project layout. Now, if we look at this layout at a glance, you might say, oh, this doesn't even look realistic. Well, do we really need it to be realistic? These are blocks of different type of buildings and structures. The first thing we're going to look at is the legend. There's so many colors, there are numbers here, and this is the bare minimum. There could be a lot of complex drawings out there. Let's start. If we look at the first four here, these are apartments. So all these variations of blue, they're all apartments. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have the same thing replicated here all the way here. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There could be errors here. So obviously this is not a real project. This is an imaginary project. And we are going to have some mistakes along the way so that we are able to find those mistakes, and maybe we could even, call them out with the customer or client, right? So we need to be quick and we need to be proactive and we need to stay on top of the game. That's all there is, to be successful in, project planning and scheduling. All right, so we have 12 sections here of apartments. The second section here is villa types. So we see villas, and where are these? So these are the villas. So these fall right here. The reds, then this, and this. So we have 4 type of villas, and it's replicated here. Right, that's good. We have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Right. Now what do we have? So let's see, what is this 19 and 20 now? So these are different types of buildings. If I try to zoom in, let's try zooming in here. Okay. So we have recreation building, we have staff building, we have security buildings, we have utility buildings. Well, it's written utility buildings, but it's actually buildings. So, well, there's some spelling mistakes here for sure. Okay, we have main pool, we have secondary and children pools. Fine. Let's look at this. So we have 19 and 20. So what is this? Let me zoom in a bit more. Right. So this is a water tank. So this is most likely a utility building, right? That's a purple one. So we have treatment plant and water tank. So these are both part of the utility buildings. All right. Along with this one, what do we have here? So this is the electrical building, substation. So that's another one we have here as utility building. Right. And now, what do we have here? Security buildings, staff building, recreation building 2. So this is 28, 27, 20, and 29. So these fall under these categories, staff building and security buildings. Then we have the main pool. We have pools here. So the green ones are secondary or children pools. And then we have a main pool right in the middle. So as you can see, there's lots of stuff going on. And if you want to look around, we do seem to have like a boundary wall, or even if it's not a boundary wall, it could be. Oh yeah, so we could say that this is a boundary wall, right? So this is like a boundary wall here. We'll get to that as well. So we will think about it. We'll think about it, in different terms. So there's a main road here. There's a main road 1 here. There's a secondary road here. You have internal roads here and all that stuff. So there's lots of infrastructure work also going around. We have parking lots. We have a parking lot here. We have parking lot here. So this definitely looks like a society, like a housing society with different type of buildings and infrastructure. So now that we have read the project layout, we need to be able to develop or create. We're going to refine this step by step, but let's just do a quick one. We're going to have a quick SOW. So obviously we have the name of the project, that is the Future City Project. It's going to be really, really rough and fast. Just imagine, we got this right now, and within a couple of minutes, maybe 10 minutes, we'll be able to explain, oh, this project is basically this, right? So let's see. What's the first step? So we know they're apartments. So these are residential buildings. Hold on a second. So maybe let's just categorize this. So this is 1. Okay. So we have here residential buildings. And then within residential buildings, maybe 1.1, we could say we have apartments. And then within apartments, we would have type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. You get the idea, right? Let's just keep it short now because this is the high level SOW. So we have here villas, right? Next, we could say, what do we have? We have utility buildings. Utility buildings. And within those, we could have what is this called? Staff buildings. We could have, no, sorry. So utility wouldn't have staff buildings. It would have the water treatment building, water tank building, maybe a sewage, building. It could have lots of other stuff. So you're going to fill this out. So that's your task. Now you're going to go through this and you're going to figure out what other type of buildings do we have. There's lots of stuff missing here. There's lots of stuff we could add, but you get the idea. You get the idea. And then maybe we could say, okay, we have pools, we have infrastructure, infra, we have landscaping and all that good stuff, right? So this is the high level SOW. I do have a document for you guys to look at. Right, here we go. So if you look at this document, high level information and scope of work. So this is, we have the residential building, we have apartments and villas. In the utility buildings, we have the water tank, we have a recreation building, we have staff building. We could even categorize this somewhere else. Like this is not a utility building, right? So we could have like other type of buildings, and then you could throw them in over there, right? So what else do we have here? So we have this sewage treatment plant, we have the generator room, we have the pump room, security building, chlorination building, transformer building, staff building. So obviously, there's no hard and fast rule. This is a document which was provided in this training. I don't agree with this. Obviously, that's the reason I'm making this course. So definitely, I wouldn't include the staff building or the rec building, and just imagine. I mean, this is replicated here again. So they're not. Are there two buildings? Let's just see. Let's just confirm. Do we actually have two staff buildings? I didn't see that. Let's just confirm. So there are actually three buildings if you look at it that way. But in the end, it's the same building, I believe. Maybe these are just sections. But I do see rec building 1 and rec building 2. And I don't see that in this layout, in this statement, scope of work. Well, that's the whole idea, right? We're going to find errors. We're going to make this better. And then we have pools. We have the main pool. We have the secondary pools. We have children pools. And then we have roads, infrastructure, landscape. And I think that's about it, right? So we have 6 sections with lots of subsections. And we could, play around with this. We could edit this. Let's just see how it, rolls out in the future. But that's the first lesson. And I hope you guys understood how the concept works. Planning, engineering, and scheduling is not just about using Primavera and using that tool. It's more about understanding those initial set of documents and understanding the scope of work. Once you understand that, you can go back to your team and, hey, this is what I got. Do you think this is right? Do you think I'm missing something? So it's all about communication. It's all about, understanding the contract, the specification, the BOQ, the project layout, and it's all teamwork. So, yep. Tell me if you liked the video, and if you did, it would be great that you guys, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll have lots of videos coming up. And if you have any questions, you can, definitely comment, and I'll try my best to answer. So have an amazing day. Bye.